Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Reddit Stories video, and trust me, today's gonna be wild. Before we get started, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. We're aiming for 1,000 subscribers, and every single one of you makes a huge difference. I was planning to rob you. I'm not sure if this story belongs here, because I can't decide if I would have an issue meeting this person again. But I reckon any normal, sane person wouldn't. This happened to me in Tempe, AZ, not far from Mill Ave, where all the bars are at. I was out bar hopping with a group of friends one weekend, having a good time and had gotten pretty wasted. I have this terrible habit of wandering off and getting lost when I drink, and this particular night, I had managed to get myself into a very dumb situation. After wandering down streets for almost an hour, I started to realize I was very lost, and to make things worse, my phone was out of battery. At some point, I decided I would just walk back to my friend's house, which I knew was somewhere north of area we were bar hopping. I should mention I am severely incompetent when it comes to directions and navigating in a city, so I didn't realize I was a solid 7 to 8 miles away from my friend's place. As I was stumbling confidently along the empty roads at 2 a.m., a sedan suddenly pulled off the road in front of me aggressively, almost blocking my path. Somewhat startled, I look towards the driver's side and see a rather large and mean-looking black man staring me down. In situations like this, most people have one of two reactions. They either become scared and defensive, or angry and aggressive. I, on the other hand, am an insane person, and was just drunk enough to have no sense of the danger I was in. I should mention I am your typical privileged suburban white boy, not particularly threatening or big. I proceeded to wave at the guy, saying, "Hey man, what's good?" I'm not completely sure, but I think I was probably smiling too. I specifically remember the face he made. It was a sort of confused and conflicted look, as if I were asking him what year it was. He paused for a second and asked me something, but I couldn't understand what he said. I said something like, "Huh?" He then asked me, "Where? You going?" I told him I was trying to walk to my friend's place, but I have no idea where I am. After another pause, he told me to get in. Without thinking, I walked over to the passenger side and hopped in. Pretty dumb, right? Well, at the time it seemed like a good idea. Once I got in, I was able to get a better look at the guy. He was covered in tats and was wearing your typical thug attire. I also noticed his arm was all bandaged. Oh, and he had a pistol tucked into his shorts. And again, for some reason, none of this fazed me at the time. He asked me where my friend's place was, and I gave him directions. I'm pretty sociable and talkative when I drink, so I immediately started chatting with the guy casually. I don't remember exactly what we talked about, but eventually he started telling me that he had just gotten out of the hospital after being treated for a gunshot wound on his arm, and his girl just broke up with him because of it. Apparently, she didn't like that he was in a gang and getting into gunfights. Go figure. He then told me that he was real pissed off about her and about getting shot, and he was driving around looking for someone to rob when he found me, and that he has served time for robbery in the past. At that point, my drunken brain started to connect the dots, and I thought about the roughly $200 I had in my wallet at that very moment. But instead of freaking out, I just said something like, "Damn man, that's rough." He also told me that he really wanted to be a rapper and was trying to get his music career started. I tried to be supportive, telling him to go for it. About 10-15 minutes later, we pulled up at my friend's place. Now, this is when I should have gotten out of the car and told the armed man thanks for the ride, but again, I'm an insane person and felt like I owed him one for taking me all the way there. So I asked if he wanted to come in and smoke. He said he was down. At this point, my friends had already been back for a while and were all wondering what happened to me. As you might expect, they were awfully surprised when I showed up with a strange black dude who I now knew was a gang member who had debated robbing me at gunpoint. What the dude did next sort of sketched everyone out though. My buddy lives in a house with a few other people. His room is at the end of a hallway, and that's where they all were listening to music. He also has a huge safe in his closet that is visible as soon as you walk in the room. I didn't realize it, but my new friend had brought his gun inside with him, and shortly after entering the room, after everyone said what's up, he took his gun out of his waistband and put it down right on top of the safe in front of everyone. It seemed like a really odd thing to do, but it was a lot better than what he could have done. I feel like it was a sort of show of respect, like he wanted to show that he wasn't going to use it. Luckily, I have super chill friends, so they acted cool and they were about to roll up a blunt. So, a few minutes later, we all went out back to smoke, leaving the gun in his room. The dude chilled with us for a while longer and actually seemed to get along with some of my friends who had a similar interest in music. He then picked up his gun off the safe and left without incident. Looking back, I realized that it could have gone much, much worse, especially since my buddy had a lot of cash in that safe, and he could have easily robbed us at gunpoint at any time. I like to think that although he was a criminal and a gang member, he was also just a guy going through a hard time, and a little kindness and marijuana prevented that night from going very bad. Am I crazy? Alright, that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed that one as much as I did. If you did, give this video a like, it helps more than you know. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss tomorrow's story, and I'll see you in the next one.